What the fuck is up, B? So, I am revived, I am refreshed, and we're gonna hit the ground running. So, my team gave me the wildest message, and they started talking about Rapunzel. Rapunzel let down your golden locks, is what they told me. And it immediately took me back to the fucking fairy tale. But it caused me to look it up, because they just kept saying it on repeat. And, like, I'm good, but I'm not that good. So I looked it up, and it freaking led me to the original, like one of the original fairy tales, which was from the brothers Grimm. And it's kind of like the slutty version of Rapunzel, where she has a baby, and you just need to look it up. Just look up Rapunzel by the Grimm brothers. Wildly different than fluffy Disney, but nonetheless. But it shocked me, because when I threw cards after reading the thing, and I was like, okay, so what's the message here with the Rapunzel let down your hair? First of all, they threw the death card. They threw the death card, which is the Grim Reaper, which hit me twice. Because not only did they talk about, like, a couple days ago, about your transition being led by a transitioner, and the Grim Reaper, or Grimm, is a transitioner at his core. He transitions souls or energy or whatever you want to call it from the vessel to a different plane, right? Transitioning. But then they gave me a nursery rhyme that was written by the brothers Grimm with 2 M's. And that's how I spell Grimm with 2 M's. So I thought that was really intriguing. So then when I threw these cards, wild. I hope you're still here, fam. Wild. So I had the Hermit, the Hierophant, and the King of Cups in reverse. Right away, the Hermit, they put in locked away, as in the tunnel, right? Tunnel, as in the tower, locked away in the tower. And it's talking about somebody being trapped in false love. We have the lovers here, but even when you take the lover message out of it, and you just talk about falseness, false lovers is fake faces, false masks. Thank you. It's about deception. It's about lies. It's about trickery. It's about manipulation. It's just about things are not as they seem, right? So in the Brothers Grimm fairy tale, the sorceress puts her up in the tower, yada, yada, yada. And it's talking about this King of Cups, right? And she blocks her up in the tower because she's coming of age in the story. Now, the sorceress hears the prince coming to the tower, calling down for Rapunzel to let her hair down, and they're planning this grand escape together. So that would be your person, right? Planning and starting to see the bullshit for being trapped in the tower by this manipulative person. But what's even wilder, and I hope you're following me, and I hope I'm explaining this correctly, but what's even wilder is that the manipulative, lies, deceitful person, the sorceress in the story that traps you in the tower, casts Rapunzel out, and then tricks the person with the rosy glasses, right? So the prince is climbing the tower, thinking it's the princess, gets hit with a shocking realization that it's not the princess, and he's been lied to, and it's the sorceress, and then gets dropped into a bed of roses, which the symbolism behind roses is insane. But they told me to take it as rose-colored glasses and not roses, protection, love, but roses as in false love, as in rose-colored glasses, as in not seeing the truth for what it is, hence not noticing the manipulation behind the person sending down the hair this time, right? Not like falling victim to the trap. Gets thrown from your tower, so your big realization, oh my God moment, right? Because you realize once you're at the top that shit's not as it seems, you fucking cascade out the back of the goddamn window. Like, I hope you follow me. You cascade out to the back of the fucking window. You fall into bushes. In the Grimm Brothers story, you're blinded. You can't see because you had your rose-colored glasses ripped from you, and you are in the fog trying to figure out the truth. So you are blinded. Now, at this point, you're struggling, right, to move forward. You're struggling to go on. You don't know what's going to come of it. And that's the crazy part. You have to go in blind. You have to trust blindly to get where you are going, to reach your happiness, right? After your massive fall from your tower, after your death and rebirth cards, you literally are starting your new journey with a different set of glasses on after you strode away from lies, manipulation, half-truths, and fuckery. Now, this is where the Grimm brothers' tale even gets wilder, is that this prince has to wander around blind to find this princess, Rapunzel, whatever. Replace that lady with whatever you're after, your golden pathway, your destiny, what you're truly searching for. Let's replace it with her, right? You have to follow your chariot, your blind faith, your trust. You're walking on your gut, listening to your guides, doing what you're told, feeling your way through the dark because you're blind, only to hear her calling out to him. In the story, she hugs him, cries, her tears make his eyes no longer blinded. I don't know. But it's talking about you finding your way through trust, strength, intuition, and following your gut and your guides, being spirit-led, being divinely guided by the universe. It doesn't fucking matter. But you had to do it in the dark after your massive tower realizations that have caused you all this hurt, harm, pain, whatever of the past in order to start your new journey, in order your death rebirth. I'm sorry, that's like the last 4 messages in one old ass fairy tale. The symbology is heavy. And they're just telling you that your realization is gonna send you into holy fuck moment. Your rocky foundations, your craziness. It's being led by a transitioner, Grimm brothers, your death and rebirth, because you're not stopping at the death. Right? You're not dead when you hit the bushes and you were blind and the glasses were ripped off and you started seeing everything for where you weren't fucked. You had to keep going. You were given the choice to keep going. The prince could have laid there in the bushes and died if he really wanted to, but he didn't. He kept going. And that's what you're being called to do, to keep going, because the realization was just supposed to be a realization. And the even funnier fucking part about this whole thing is that there's an alternate ending to the Grimm brothers' tale, which is wild when I looked it up. Not only did all of that happen and they're rejoined in the end, great. The sorceress, tricky, manipulative energy burnt themselves while trying to burn you. So when they try to trick you up the tower and climb the hair and try to pull the wool over your eyes and try to do all the fuck shit, then you got to the top and realized shit was whack. There's a version of the story where she loses the grip on the rope ladder or the hair ladder and it falls down with you. And because that tower has no steps and no ladder, she has no way to get out. So she has sunk her ship trying to sink you in the process, being a divinely guided soul. That to me is not ego, but that is wild. So if you jive with that alternate ending too, add it in the fucking mix. They're just telling you, don't get stopped by the rock in the tower. They want you to keep going, and they know you're going to be blinded for a little while, but they're telling you to listen for their voice, listen for their signs. You will find your happy ending, and you will get where the fuck you need to be, because that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to knock you off balance, but set you on course. That's a wrap for the saga that we've been going on the last week. Bye, B.